Hey guys, so I promise to upload videos more often, and life's been a mess. So I want to talk a little bit on that, and I just want you guys to listen. And this is all coming straight from my head. I don't have anything written in front of me. I don't know where to start either. It's just sometimes people disappoint you. Sometimes people will say that they love you and they won't mean it. Sometimes you'll say I love you to people and you won't mean it. And people are just going to have to accept that not everyone is going to love you. Not everyone is going to think that you're the best person in the world. But there is somebody that thinks that you are the best person in the world. And you just have to find that person. Don't settle for someone that just doesn't, for someone that doesn't actually care about you. I'm in high school, and I know that having someone to date in high school is one of the biggest things. It's something that everyone wants, everyone talks about. But most of the time, it's not going to last. Your high school sweetheart isn't going to be your sweetheart for marriage, for college, for everything. You're just gonna have to accept that. And and I know that it's what, like, you want it to be, that you want it to be a forever thing. And I know that people are gonna promise you that it's gonna be forever, and your partner is gonna promise you that it's gonna be forever, but it might not be. So I'm not saying don't get attached, but don't invest yourself in somebody. Don't let them run through your veins. Don't let yourself run through their veins, because you don't know if it's going to end. You don't know when it's going to end. And you're just going to have to accept that. You're just going to have to deal with that. You're just going to have to process that. And it's not something that you can change or something that you can do anything about. It's just something you're going to have to let happen. And I mean, like family, for instance. Your mom's not always going to be there for you. One day she's going to pass. She's not going to be there. So you're going to have to learn how to cook. You're going to have to learn how to deal with things on your own. You're going to have to learn how to take care of people. Because if you're like me and you don't have a dad that you can depend on, then what are you going to do? Just sit there and not eat for days? Sit there and not fend for yourself? Or if your mom dies, you can't. If one of your parents dies, let's say that you live with just your dad, you're gonna have to learn how to work without your parents. Like, if you live with your dad, you're gonna have to learn how to change your own oil in your car. If you live with your mom, you're gonna have to learn how to buy your own bras. You're gonna have to learn how to cook your own food. If you live with both your parents, you're gonna have to learn to just take care of the other one if the other dies. You're gonna have to learn how to take care of people. If you have siblings, I know I do. If your parents died, you'd have to learn how to take care of them, of your siblings. Life's not always fair. Sometimes things get thrown at us that we don't expect. But it all happens for a reason. If there wasn't a reason for it, it wouldn't have happened. If there wasn't a reason for it, there wouldn't be anything. You wouldn't... Think of your first boyfriend. He wasn't perfect, was he? Sure, he made you feel incredible. He made you feel like you were the best thing in the world. But did it last? Was he always there? Did he take you out on cute dates? And did he drive you around town for no reason, just to get your mind off of things? Was he there at 4 in the morning when you were crying about something that had happened? Was he there with everything? If you answered yes to any of that, then that's good. If you answered no, I don't want to say he was a waste of your time, because he wasn't. He made you who you are now. All of them have. All of the people that you've encountered, they've made you who you are. And that's why it's not, no one is worthless. It's not pure coincidence that you met somebody. There's no way that there's not a reason. If you think that there's not a reason that you met somebody, think back to how you were before you met them. I had a friend, and I was in love with him. I'm not anymore, but I was. And thinking back to how I was before I met him, and looking at how I am now. Before I met him, I was naive. I wasn't insecure. I was confident with myself. I thought that I was the best thing in the world. Then I met him, and I realized for the moment that he was the best thing in the world. And that's what you need to find. You need to find somebody that you think is the best person in the world, but it can't be a one-sided thing. With my friend, I was in love with him for 2 years, and nothing happened between us at all, because he wasn't interested. And I don't want to say that it was his fault that he wasn't interested, because it's not. It's not his fault. And I don't want other people to think that it was his fault, because it's not his fault that he wasn't interested in me. It's not his fault that I'm insecure now. It's not his fault that I'm not confident. It's not his fault that I overthink too much. It's not his fault. None of it. None of it is his fault. He wasn't a good person, but he wasn't a bad person. And he was amazing, but people move on. People look past you, and you're just gonna have to deal with that. With my first boyfriend, he made me feel like I was everything. And at some points, I didn't feel insecure when I was with him. But it ends. It ended in a very bad way, and it's still ending in a bad way. And life is hard, and you have to deal with it. There's not always going to be someone there that is going to tell you it's going to be okay, that you're enough, that you're worth it. And you're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to deal with the fact that not everyone is going to be on your side all the time. And I know that it's hard, and I know it's gonna be terrible. And I know that you're gonna want to cry a lot of the times when your life is just getting so hard to the point where you want to die. But it gets better. And I know that's not what anybody wants to hear, because I don't like hearing it. I don't like saying it, because it hasn't gotten better for me. For me, it gets better for a certain amount of time. For me, it gets better for a week or for a month or for a day. And then after that's over, everything crashes down and reality sets in, and I realize that I am not worth it. I am not the one that people think about when they picture their future wife. They don't think about me. When people picture their future college dorm room, they don't picture me being their roommate. When people think about me, think, wow, I could do so much better than her. And I don't even want to imagine what else they can think of me, because I am nothing. But aren't we all? Aren't we all just pieces in a game? Aren't we all just nothing? We are nothing, and we will never be anything until we decide to accept the fact that we can be worth it. We can be whatever we want to be. If you want to be a doctor when you're older, then just think, nobody likes going to doctors. Everyone hates doctors, to put it simply. But you, man, you could be the best doctor there is. You could be the one that helps a kid come over cancer. You can be that doctor that catches a disease on a child early. You could be that person that saves someone's life. If you want to be a therapist, someone can come to you by force, and they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to be near you. They don't want to hear anything you have to say. But you could be that person that keeps them from killing themselves. You could be... If you want to be an actress, you could be that person, that little girl that's like 10. She looks up to you, and she wants to be everything that you are, because you're so stunningly beautiful, and you always say the right things, and you always do the right things. And on top of that, you're funny, and you're sweet, and you're just everything. Everything that girl wants to be. You can be whatever you want to be. Just don't ruin yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Don't ruin anything that you have over something that happened in high school, in middle school, in elementary school. Don't let that bother you. With your parents, do you fight with them? We all do. But do they fight with you back? Of course. Does that mean that they don't love you? No. Does it mean that you don't love them? No. You're the best thing that's ever happened to your parents. Granted, you could also be the worst thing. You could be the kid that ruined their entire high school experience, or you could be that kid that made everything in their life better. You could be that person that just makes their life so much better. You could be that thing that comes into their life that they made, that just keeps them alive. And you just have to remember that. If you're ever feeling down, if you're ever wanting to die, just imagine your parents, imagine your friends. Not all friends last, of course, but it would affect everybody if you were gone. So when life gets hard, you just have to remember that it's going to be okay, and that it doesn't make things better, it makes things worse. So I'm sorry for that little rant, you guys, but I know it was all over the place, but just remember all that, okay? Just don't let life get you down. Don't let people get you down. Just, it'll be okay. I promise. And if this helped any of you guys, please just show other people that it will be okay. I love you guys. See you soon.